Welcome to War Bios, the podcast where we delve into the lives of history's most fascinating military leaders. I'm your host, General Biography, and today we're going to explore the remarkable life of Shaka Zulu, a warrior king who revolutionized warfare in southern Africa and left an indelible mark on the continent. Born around 1787, under the shadow of the Drakensberg Mountains, Shaka would rise from humble beginnings to become one of the most feared and respected leaders of his time, forging a powerful empire through military innovation, strategic brilliance, and unyielding determination. To understand the man who would become the legendary Shaka Zulu, we must begin with his early life, set against the backdrop of Africa in turmoil. The late 18th century was a time of great upheaval, as the Mfecane, a period of widespread conflict and migration, began to reshape the map of southern Africa. It was an era of clashing armies, displaced populations, and shifting alliances where only the strongest and most cunning could survive. Born in the lunar month of Uentulikazi, which corresponds to September or October in the Gregorian calendar, Shaka was the son of Senzamgakona Kajama, a minor chief of the Zulu clan, and Nandi, a woman from a neighboring clan. The circumstances of his birth were far from auspicious, as his parents' union was considered illegitimate by the strict rules of Zulu society. This illegitimacy would have a profound impact on Shaka's childhood, shaping his worldview and informing his future actions. As the son of an outcast mother, he was ostracized by his own family and community, forced to endure the taunts and bullying of his peers. The pain of rejection and the sting of humiliation would leave deep scars, fueling a burning desire for validation and recognition that would drive him throughout his life. Despite these challenges, Shaka's natural intelligence, physical strength, and fierce determination began to manifest at an early age, setting him apart from his contemporaries. Growing up in the late 18th century, Shaka was immersed in the traditional Zulu culture, with its rich spiritual heritage and strict social hierarchies. His family's homestead, situated near present-day Melmoth, KwaZulu-Natal, was a hub of activity, with relatives, servants, and visiting dignitaries coming and going. The thatched huts, surrounded by fertile fields and grazing cattle, seemed to hum with the rhythms of everyday life. It was here that Shaka would have been exposed to the stories of his ancestors, the great Zulu chiefs who had fought and died for their people, and the myths of the Zulu gods, which emphasized the importance of courage, loyalty, and strength. The air was thick with the smell of wood smoke, roasting meat, and the sweet scent of maize porridge. The sound of laughter, arguments, and storytelling filled the air as the Zulu people went about their daily lives. As a young boy, Shaka would have undergone the traditional Zulu initiation rituals, including circumcision and instruction in the ways of warfare. These rites of passage were designed to test his physical and emotional endurance, preparing him for the rigors of battle and the responsibilities of manhood. Under the guidance of his mentor, Dingiswayo, a powerful chief who had taken Shaka under his wing, he began to learn the art of warfare, studying the tactics and strategies employed by the great Zulu warriors of the past. Dingiswayo, a seasoned military leader with a deep understanding of the complexities of Zulu politics, recognized the potential in the young Shaka and nurtured it, teaching him the importance of discipline, loyalty, and cunning. The historical context of Shaka's early years was marked by turmoil and upheaval. The late 18th century saw the rise of the Mfecane, a period of widespread conflict and migration that would reshape the map of southern Africa. As various clans and chiefdoms vied for power and resources, the Zulu people found themselves increasingly threatened, facing attacks from rival groups and struggling to maintain their territorial integrity. It was against this backdrop of violence and uncertainty that Shaka's character began to take shape, forged in the crucible of adversity and tempered by his unyielding ambition. The lessons he learned during these formative years about courage, loyalty, and strength would serve him well as he navigated the treacherous landscape of Zulu politics and warfare. The boy who was once an outcast would eventually become a legendary leader, feared and respected by his enemies and his people alike. As Shaka's reputation grew, so did his ambition, and he began to consolidate power within the Zulu clan with a calculating precision that would become a hallmark of his leadership. In 1806, following the death of his father, Senzanjakona, Shaka became the leader of the Zulu people, marking the beginning of a new era in Zulu history that would be characterized by unprecedented expansion and transformation. With Dingiswayo's guidance and support, Shaka set about transforming the Zulu army into a formidable fighting force, introducing innovative tactics and strategies that would become hallmarks of Zulu warfare, including the legendary Horns of the Buffalo formation. This tactical masterpiece, which featured a central core of seasoned warriors supported by two flanking groups, or horns, allowed Shaka's forces to encircle and annihilate enemy formations with devastating effect. The Battle of Gahokli Hill in 1818 was a pivotal moment in this transformation, as Shaka employed his signature formation against the Ndwanwe clan with stunning results. As the Zulu army descended upon the Ndwanwe, their war cries echoing across the landscape, the enemy lines began to waver and break. The horns of the buffalo closed in, and the Ndwanwe were rapidly encircled, cut off from escape or resupply. The ensuing battle was fierce but brief, with Shaka's forces emerging victorious and the Ndwanwe suffering heavy casualties. The victory at Gahokli Hill cemented Shaka's position as a major power in the region, earning him the respect and fear of his contemporaries. His relationships with other leaders of the time were complex and multifaceted, reflecting the intricate web of politics and diplomacy that characterized the region during this period. He formed alliances with some, such as the Swazi king, Sobhuza I, while waging war against others, like the Ndwanwe king, Zwide. These interactions not only demonstrate Shaka's cunning and strategic thinking, but also highlight his capacity for calculated risk-taking and his willingness to adapt to changing circumstances. In 1820, Shaka launched a series of campaigns against the Mpando people, seeking to expand Zulu territory and secure vital trade routes. The Mpando were ultimately forced to pay tribute to the Zulu kingdom, acknowledging Shaka's dominance and solidifying his position as a major regional power. As one contemporary observer noted, Shaka's name became synonymous with terror and awe, inspiring both fear and admiration in equal measure. His military campaigns were marked by a combination of brutality and strategic calculation, as he sought to balance the need for conquest with the imperative of maintaining stability and order within his expanding empire. Shaka's reign was also marked by significant social and economic reforms, which aimed to strengthen the Zulu state and promote social cohesion. He introduced a new system of governance, dividing the Zulu kingdom into smaller administrative units, each with its own appointed leader. This decentralization allowed for greater efficiency and flexibility in responding to external threats, while also facilitating the collection of taxes and tribute from subordinate clans. The impact of these reforms was profound, as they helped to create a more centralized and hierarchical state, with Shaka at its apex. The arrival of European traders and missionaries on the southeastern coast of Africa presented a complex web of possibilities for Shaka, from forming strategic alliances to resisting foreign encroachment. As European influence began to grow in the region, Shaka found himself confronted with new challenges and opportunities, from the prospect of forming alliances with European powers to the threat of colonization and cultural disruption. In 1824, Shaka faced one of his most significant challenges when a large force of Ndwanwe warriors, led by Zwide's son Nomalungena, invaded Zulu territory. The ensuing battle, fought near the present-day town of Ulundi, was fierce and intense, with both sides suffering heavy casualties. The clash of steel on steel echoed across the landscape as the two armies collided, their war cries mingling in a deafening cacophony. Ultimately, Shaka emerged victorious, having successfully repelled the invasion and secured a major triumph for the Zulu kingdom. This victory marked a turning point in Shaka's reign, as he began to focus on consolidating his power and securing his legacy. He launched a series of internal reforms aimed at strengthening the Zulu state and promoting social cohesion. These efforts included the creation of a new system of laws, the establishment of a powerful and centralized administration, and the promotion of a strong sense of national identity. Through his military campaigns, administrative reforms, and cultural achievements, Shaka left an indelible mark on the history of Southern Africa, one that continues to be felt today. The Zulu people remain one of the most prominent and influential ethnic groups in the region, with their culture and traditions continuing to thrive in the modern era. His legacy serves as a powerful reminder of the transformative power of visionary leadership and the enduring importance of cultural heritage in shaping the course of human history. As Shaka's reign entered its final years, the Zulu kingdom was a maelstrom of intrigue and tension, with internal power struggles and external threats conspiring against the great leader. The once unyielding walls of his authority were beginning to show cracks as the relentless drumbeat of war and the crushing weight of responsibility took their toll on his physical and mental health. Despite these obstacles, Shaka remained a colossus, feared and respected by his enemies and allies alike, his name whispered in awe and terror around campfires and in hushed conversations. In 1828, Shaka's life took a dramatic turn when he was assassinated by his half-brother, Dingane, who had grown increasingly resentful of Shaka's rule. The circumstances surrounding Shaka's death remain shrouded in mystery, but it is believed that Dingane, with the help of another brother, Blangana, stabbed Shaka to death near the present-day town of Stanger, on a wind-swept hill overlooking the rolling plains of KwaZulu-Natal. The very earth seemed to tremble as the mighty warrior king fell, his lifeblood spilling onto the soil he had fought so hard to protect. As news of Shaka's death spread like wildfire across the kingdom, the Zulu people were plunged into a period of mourning and upheaval. The great leader's passing marked the end of an era, and his legacy would be felt for generations to come, like ripples on a pond that refused to dissipate. As the renowned historian Donald Morris once observed, Shaka's impact on Southern African history was akin to a stone cast into a still pond, sending ripples that would disturb the waters for centuries. Today, Shaka is remembered as a brilliant military strategist, a shrewd politician, and a visionary leader who transformed the Zulu kingdom into a powerful and centralized state, his name etched in the annals of history alongside the greatest leaders of all time. Despite his many achievements, Shaka's life was not without controversy. His military campaigns were often brutal and devastating, leaving countless communities in ruins and smoldering ashes. The memories of his victims still lingered, a haunting reminder of the human cost of war and the unyielding ambition of a leader who would stop at nothing to achieve his goals. However, it is also essential to remember that Shaka lived in a time of great turmoil and upheaval, when the fragile balance of power in southern Africa was threatened by internal conflicts and external aggression. As the Zulu historian Matsisi Kunene once noted, Shaka was a product of his time, a time of great chaos and disorder. He rose to power through his intelligence, courage, and strength, and he ruled with an iron fist, but also with a deep sense of justice and compassion. He was a brilliant military leader who was also a just and compassionate ruler, capable of inspiring loyalty and devotion in his people. He was a visionary who transformed his kingdom, but also a product of his time, shaped by the circumstances of his era and the cultural traditions of his ancestors. His leadership was marked by a unique blend of cunning, courage, and charisma, which enabled him to navigate the treacherous landscape of Southern African politics and emerge victorious against all odds. One of the most fascinating aspects of Shaka's personality was his ability to adapt and innovate, to evolve as a leader in response to changing circumstances. He was a master strategist who could adjust his tactics to suit the needs of the moment, whether it was launching a lightning-fast attack on an enemy clan or negotiating a delicate peace treaty with a rival kingdom. His military campaigns were characterized by their speed, mobility, and ferocity as he unleashed his feared impis upon his enemies, leaving destruction and chaos in their wake. In the years following Shaka's death, the Zulu kingdom continued to evolve and adapt, facing new challenges and opportunities in the face of European colonization. The arrival of British settlers and missionaries brought new technologies, ideas, and cultural influences that would forever change the fabric of Southern African society. He was a warrior and a statesman, a visionary and a pragmatist, a just ruler and a ruthless adversary. His story serves as a reminder of the power of human ingenuity and creativity and the enduring importance of cultural heritage in shaping our understanding of the world. That's all for today's War Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, I'm General Biography reminding you to keep marching toward victory.